This knowledge clip focuses on cultural differences and cross-cultural management. Culture is a difficult hurdle in international business management, given that it is hard to define and tackle. First of all, we can distinguish different levels of cross-cultural differences, such as the face-to-face level in meetings and negotiations, where different languages, behaviors, or rituals can hinder the effectiveness of the communication. Second, we distinguish the company-to-company level, referring to all sorts of contracts, such as alliances, joint ventures, or acquisitions that could be hindered by differences in terms of labor relations, decision-making, or attitudes towards work in different countries. Third, at the company-to-customer level, we will have to take into account differences in terms of customer preferences or quality requirements when developing product or marketing strategies for different international markets. Culture is a multi-layered concept which is formed by various external characteristics, but also tacit aspects like behavior, attitudes, beliefs, and values. An interesting framework is the one which distinguishes between the different layers of culture, such as national culture, business or industry culture, company or organizational culture, but also individual behavior of the decision maker. While national cultures are characterized by things like ethnicity, language, religion, social classes, institutions, or educational systems, professional cultures are typical for a particular industry or profession, like the banking or engineering industry, academic, legal, or medical sector. Each of those professions have their own habits, rules, style, type of language, or even dress code, going, for example, from very formal to very informal. As such, despite their cultural differences, engineers have a common understanding and can relate above and beyond their national culture. Different firms typically also have different organizational cultures, even within a given sector. Therefore, individuals go through various processes of socialization during the course of a lifetime, first through growing up in a national culture, but also through education in a given domain, and later on in life through business and industry culture, and finally by working in a specific company, which all feeds into their individual behavior. A relevant framework in this context is the one that distinguishes between high and low context cultures. Hall's framework is quite practical as far as international management is concerned. In high context cultures, such as in Asia, personal relations are very important to establish goodwill and social trust. Negotiations are slow and ritualistic, and agreements emphasize trust. This is quite different way of doing business for a German or Swiss entrepreneur from a low context culture, who gets down to business first, values expertise and performance, and where negotiations are as efficient as possible, and agreements emphasize specific legalistic contracts. This is different than, for example, in China, where people will first want to create a bond before doing business. People build on a social bond that can lead to cooperation. They are also less clear about why a deal will not go through. In Europe, negotiations are more distant, yet people will be more direct in doing business. The negotiating parties will find out more quickly if a deal goes through or not and why.